Today we're going to focus on 5 different things that beginner players are not practicing enough. The first shot we're going to look at, and something that most beginner players have in their game pretty early, and that is a stop shot. What is a stop shot? You're shooting a ball down table and you're making the cue ball stop in place. Most beginner players develop this shot very early. Unfortunately, an awful lot, a very high percentage, are taught to shoot this shot incorrectly. I'm going to show you how to shoot it correctly, and I'm going to show you how to practice it correctly. Even though you can stop the ball, you have to ask yourself, can I stop it from here? Most beginners can shoot a stop shot if the balls are just 12 or 13 inches apart. And this is exactly why how you were taught and how you execute this shot is so important. Here you can see the balls are about 2.5 feet apart. The question is, what does your stop shot look like when the balls are this far apart? Because if you can't shoot it and stop that ball in place, the balls are 2.5 feet apart, but you can only do it when the balls are 12 inches apart, what good does that do your game? I'm going to show you how to shoot this shot where, regardless of the distance down table, you have the skill set to execute that stop shot 4 feet apart, 3 feet apart, 12 inches apart. You're going to shoot it the same way every time, which is going to make you a much more consistent and better pool player. Let's take a look. I know what some of you are thinking, oh, my dad, my uncle, my friend who's a really good player taught me how to shoot this shot. So I know how to shoot this shot. But when I ask you to shoot it 3 feet, 4 feet down table, you can't pull it off at all. So why do I say you learn to shoot it incorrectly? Because a lot of people are taught to hit the cue ball dead center. And it really does work if the balls are just a few inches apart, because what happens is the cue ball slides and stops right there in place. Some of you were taught hit the ball slightly below center, and that's going to stop it. Yes, once again, in short distances, that works. But if you look at the best players in the world, where are they hitting this ball when they shoot a stop shot? Whether it's 12 inches or 6 feet down table, you're going to see them making contact with this ball very low on the cue ball. Lower than most of you feel comfortable, and probably lower than most of you should be shooting a lot of shots until you have developed your stroke. That's an entirely different video. Your contact point on this shot is not the center of the cue ball. It is not slightly below center. It is at the bottom of the ball, as if you're about to shoot your best draw shot, which we're going to get to in a couple shots. So what does that look like? You're down on the ball. Don't make an extremely long bridge. If you're watching this video, chances are you could shorten your bridge. Shorten your bridge. This will allow you to have a more compact stroke, and until your stroke is better and better and with more accuracy, you will hit the ball better and you won't scoop these balls when you're hitting below center. So you're down on the shot. You're finding the center of the cue ball, and when I say the center, I mean low center. So you find the center of the cue ball. Your follow through is going to be key. Make sure the shot is totally straight in the pocket. This shot is actually not straight in the pocket. Now, the reason we want to make sure you're practicing this with the ball straight in the pocket is because of this. If we're straight in, we can execute a good stop. Follow through. The tip of your cue should travel somewhere between 3 and 7 inches past the point where you made contact on the cue ball. How far past that point depends on how long your stop shot is. Many of you get intimidated when you hear us talking about drills, but drills are the quickest, most efficient way to get good at this game. This is a very simple drill. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with a friend, as long as you stay on track and you're actually practicing during that session. It is very simple, and it looks like this. These balls are no more than 1 diamond apart. And notice we're shooting them the long way down table. This is not practice. Shooting this ball into this pocket with a stop shot. A lot of you flat out cold beginners, that's what you want to do. But it's okay if you're missing this shot going down table. The reason we're going the long way down table, and for some of you this is no more than 6 feet. The reason we're going the long way is because the long way exposes you. If you do anything wrong and you're shooting the length of the table, you will find out about it. Those of you that learn these shots by shooting them 2 feet away into the side pocket or into a large pocket at a short range, you're not being exposed. And what I mean is, it doesn't tell you if you do something wrong. Put the balls 1 diamond away, make your best bridge, get down on the shot after stepping in, keep your fundamentals as tight as you can, and figure out just how much speed is necessary to stop that cue ball without it spinning sideways, without it drawing back, without it moving forward. If you don't stop it cold on your first 2 or 3 shots, practice the shot again. What are you going to do after you can do that? Let's take a look. We're going to move the 2 ball another diamond out. Now we are 2 diamonds away. We're shooting the exact same shot. When you can do this consistently, you are above intermediate. Intermediate players have trouble with this shot at this distance. I'm sorry, it just happens to be the case. When you can do this and you can shoot 5 or 10 of these in a row without any misses, you are playing above intermediate, at least on this particular shot. Once again, you're stepping into the shot. You're down on the shot. You take your little warm-up, your little confirmation strokes, we like to call them. Good follow-through. You need to hit the ball with slightly more follow-through and slightly more backspin, but you don't need to move the tip of your cue. If you're hitting low on the ball, like we talked about before, you are hitting it in the right spot. Let's take a look at the longer stop shot. This is something you probably will not be doing as a beginner player, but this is your goal. This is what we call the X drill, or the mighty X. We have a spot here, which is 2 diamonds up and 1 diamond over, and we have the exact same spot at the other end, and the idea here is to shoot a stop shot the length. As long as your diamonds are lined up perfectly, then you should be able to make this shot and freeze the ball. But I want you to notice something about both of these shots that I take. If you notice, on that one I stopped the ball cold. No side spin, just cold stop the ball. On that one, I had some side spin on the ball. Sometimes you do this as an advanced player intuitively. In my case, it just means I didn't hit it perfectly. Just a millimeter or 2 to the left or the right of where you're trying to hit it along that center line will give you some side spin. You should look for any side spin you put on that ball and make adjustments along the way. So the next shot we're going to look at is a follow shot. So what exactly is a follow shot? Let's say I'm playing this 12 ball and I want to get position on the 10 ball. That's when we're going to shoot a follow shot. It means the cue ball is following the 12 ball down table. Now, if you cannot send the cue ball all the way down table and touching a rail, I don't care what size table you're on, then you don't have a good follow shot. A lot of you think you have a decent follow shot because if the ball's here and you want to make the cue ball go here, you can pull it off. But there's an awful lot of situations in pool where we need to follow a ball the length of the table. And if you can't do it, you definitely need to put in some reps on this shot. So, how do we shoot this shot? Let's take a look. If you learn to shoot a follow shot by playing 1 tip above the center of the ball, guess what? You've been done a missed service, because the best executed follow shots are much higher than that on the cue ball. If you hit the cue ball just 1 tip above and that's your follow shot, you can expect this ball to go no further than that far after shooting the follow shot unless you totally slam it, and then it will go this far. If you want to be able to roll it from one end of the table to the other at a low speed, which means a controlled speed, which means I could stop it anywhere along the way, or at least come very close to stopping it anywhere along the way that I need to. If you can't hit it at a controlled speed, you will never be able to do that. So you're going to hit this cue ball with a level cue, as level as possible. When we talk about draw, stop, follow, any shot in pool, and we say a level cue, we mean as level as possible, where the rail will allow you, the shot will allow you. Keep your cue as level as you can on any of these shots. Good follow through. We are hitting this cue ball at high and high extreme. I want you to see just how soft I hit it to get it to go all the way down table. Don't blame the cloth on your table if you can't get it down there. If you are absolutely on the worst cloth ever in the world of pool and you insist on playing on it, hit the ball harder. So how are you going to practice your follow shots? Remember how we practiced our stop shots, putting this ball at different distances? Now what we're going to do is put them at the same distance, but follow to a different distance each time. So what we're going to do on the first round of practice shots is just have the cue ball go to the next diamond, which would be where the pocket is here. So we're just going to roll forward, have our cue ball stop within this diamond and this diamond, which in this case is the pocket. After you can do that, and you can do it consistently, start looking a little bit further out. On your next round, what you're going to do, once you have done a few of those and you can stop in that little zone in there that we talked about, you're going to try to come between those last two diamonds. So we're going to line up our shot. We want to make the shot. We want to shoot it long because, again, this exposes you, and you shoot it down table to stop in that zone. When you can do that consistently, and notice we just got in there, so we're right on the line here on the foot string, but let's shoot it again actually. See if we can do a little bit better and get more into that zone. So now we got a little bit further and we're right in the heart of that zone. So, I know what you're thinking is, well, no, they're the same. Well, we got a little bit more into it. But that is your goal, is to be able to come the length of the table and stop in that zone. Now, you don't need to wait until you can do that to do this. Just give yourself a straight shot down table, put the ball in the pocket, send your cue ball to the short rail at the other end. This is actually easier than the first couple shots we did where we were trying to stop in a very specific zone. So, get a relatively straight shot, but not totally straight because I don't want to scratch necessarily here. And we send the cue ball down and we just want to touch that rail. Now notice, because we're just trying to touch that rail, we don't have to have a special touch to it. We're just sending it all the way down. So as I said, the first two were a lot easier than that one. The balls are one diamond apart. You can practice it from different distances. Come down as close as you can to scratching. And get your cue ball down there to the other end. Let's look at everybody's favorite shot, the draw shot. There is no shot that is more desired. There is no shot that I'm asked about more. The only shot that has controversy behind it, everywhere you go, is the draw shot. Why is it controversial? Because people that don't have a dynamic draw shot try to tell you that you can do without it. And yet, most top players, I'm going to go out and say all top players, are playing most shots below the center of the cue ball. Whether it's a draw, stop, stun run through, you name it, most shots are played below the center of the cue ball. Why do you need this shot? Because if you can only go forward, that means you only have access to 50% of the table. All of you watching this have the ability to learn this shot. You're not going to be shooting them 7 feet down table, across table, and being able to scratch in the corner pocket. And anytime soon, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're a beginner, but you can develop that. The first thing you're going to do is recognize that you need to hit the cue ball lower than you probably are hitting it right now. If I have an object ball that is about 2 diamonds away and I need to draw back to this rail, if you do anything other than hitting the cue ball as low as possible with as much of a level cue as possible and good follow through, you're going to be slamming the hell out of that ball just to get it back here. Hit the ball lower and slower than you feel comfortable. And if you're scooping balls off the table, don't tell me you're hitting it too low. Everybody says, oh, I hit it too low and that's why I scooped it. Or chalk is free, that's my favorite. That's why I scooped it. No. If you scoop the ball off the table, it means that you are hitting under the cue ball. If you are hitting under the cue ball when you're trying to hit the lowest spot on the cue ball, it is understandable. Until you have a really good, accurate stroke, you're going to be all over the place on the cue ball. You have no idea how often you are not hitting that cue ball. In some cases, about 80% of the time, you're not hitting that cue ball where you think you're hitting it or where you intend to hit it because your stroke is not locked in yet. So how do you get it there? Besides practicing your stroke with the stop shots, the follow shots, and the draw shots, as we're going to show you, you put in your reps. So how do we get to the point where we can draw this ball back to the rail and not have to slam it lower and slower? And if you are scooping the ball, the first thing you can do to fix that is make a shorter bridge. Just because you see an 8 or 9 inch bridge on top players, sometimes what looks like a 14 or 15 inch bridge, doesn't mean that is your bridge. That is not your bridge. If you see me get down on this shot and my bridge is here, I earned that long bridge over the last 35 years. Okay, the guys you're watching have 10, 15,000 hours of deliberate practice in the books, and that's why they can get away with that bridge. If you're scooping the cue ball or you can't hit it as low as you need to and draw this back, make a shorter bridge. Now, that guy on your team is going to tell you that the long bridge is where you get the power on your draw shot. That is correct in one instance. You have a perfect stroke. Do you have a perfect stroke? Because if you have a perfect stroke, that longer bridge will give you more power. But if you don't have a perfect stroke, it doesn't give you more power. You have to have good follow through. Your cue tip should not stop until you have gone through the cue ball. If you are doing this on your draw shot because you think the cue ball is going to come back, it's not going to come back. But like I said, most of them you're going to have a slight angle, and even if you left your cue out there, when that cue ball comes back here, it will not be in the way of your cue. That's what 95% of the draw shots you shoot are going to look like. And people all over the world are having the same problems in Sweden that you're having in New York City. This is one of them. They tell me, I need to work on my break. I'm not making a ball on the break, Bryan. I'm not controlling the cue ball when I break, Bryan. I'm going to make things a lot simpler for you. Number one, making a ball on the break is not a given. It's not a given. These balls, yes, there's 15 of them flying around the table at some very small targets. And for a lot of you, you only have 4 of those targets to deal with because you're not getting balls to this end of the table anyway. So you have 4 targets, in this case, 4 1/4 inch, 4 1/2 inch pockets that those balls that are randomly spread have to find. So stop holding yourself to, I haven't made a ball on the break, Bryan. I'm not making enough balls. The next thing is, I'm not controlling the cue ball in the center of the table. Please, please, The best in the world at doing it, who I'm going to say is Federer, is not always leaving the ball in the center of the table. And the one who hits the balls hardest, who I'm going to say is probably Shane, is not making a ball on every break. If you want to make a ball on the break all the time, you need to have a specific target in the rack and watch a video that we made on Breaking Bad, and that will help you make specific balls in the rack. But the thing you need to work on as a beginner is making solid contact with those balls so that you have a good distribution of those balls. Simple. As a beginner, this is your goal. Hit the cue ball in the center or slightly below center with a straight stroke, keeping your body as still as possible. Don't throw your weight into it. Don't get up. Don't do any of the crap that you think you see pros doing, but the ball is already gone when they're doing it. Don't do that stuff. And if your tip is anywhere other than pointing down on the table, work on your break. Break looks like this. You can follow the videos in the link that'll teach you how to break, but breaking is something you're not practicing enough, and that means you don't break the balls and then run them off, and then break the balls and run them off. You're going to do this. You break the balls and you look at what happened. If they're all coming to one side, your break sucks. You're probably breaking from the rail. We made a ball. Which ball did we make? This is something that you're not doing. Now, what do? Rack them up and break again. Then rack them up, break again. And look at what happens. Practicing your break does not mean you break them, you look how pretty they are, and then you start shooting them off. You're only going to get in, maybe, if you're really good at running balls, which you probably aren't yet. If you're really good at running balls, you're going to get 5 breaks every half hour. That's not practice. 20 breaks in a half an hour is practice. How do you get there? You break them, you rack them, you break them, you rack them, you see what happened, you take notes, you pay attention to what happened on the break, which balls went in, how many balls did you get down this end? All right? Get these things in check. Your cue ball control will take care of itself. I know exactly where my cue ball went. It came off of this rail and came out. If I wanted to put some top on it, I could have probably got it a little bit further out here. If I wanted to put some draw on it, I could have got it down here. But guess what? Wherever I put it, if I break them well, I am going to have a shot. Why are you trying this? When this is good, this is good, this is good, all of this is good. The only thing that's not good on this break is to scratch. Practice your break. What is the 5th shot that you're not practicing enough? Let's shoot these off and talk. The shot that you're not practicing enough is the shot you're having trouble with. The shot that drives you nuts. The shot that you're scared of when you're playing your friends or it's league night or any situation. When you see that shot, whether it is a stop shot, a draw shot, a 15-degree angle, a 20-degree angle, whatever it is, that's the shot that you need to practice more. Now, there's certain shots that this does not include. It doesn't include your bank shot. If you are watching this video because you are a beginner player and you are spending any more than 10 minutes a week practicing your bank shots, you better be training to play bank pool for a living. And why are bank shots so low on the scale? Because if you're shooting a lot of bank shots, you're sucking at everything else. I'm sorry. You shoot more than 2 or 3 bank shots a game and you're not playing bank pool, you're out of position a lot, which means you should be practicing other things. So put in your reps on the things that you need to work on, like your cut angle, your follow shots, your draw shots, your stop shots. That's the 5th shot, whatever your weakness is. You scared to death of putting balls in the side pocket? Practice shooting balls in the side pocket. That's the shot you need to practice. Hit us in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, sorry if I scared you. We tell you the truth about what you really need to do. And if you don't want to hear it, there's a bunch of channels telling you a bunch of stuff that you want to hear, but we teach you how to play pool here. Give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and have a great day.
Hey gang, if you enjoy FX Billiards on YouTube, you'll love FXBTV. It's the ultimate streaming platform for exclusive videos, tips, and techniques you won't find anywhere else. Join now to lock in our special introductory rate and be part of the FX Billiards community.